From giant mud puddles to huge imaginary friends that hit parents, Bluey is a hilarious cartoon, but it often crosses the line when it comes to playtime. And I ask you, if it were you, if it were your couch, your house, your kid screaming in your ear, would you let it slide or would the flip-flop already be flying? The episode cinema. What a beautiful thing, right? A sensitive child, facing her fears, calming down with the help of her sister. But hold on a minute. Before all that happens, we have to endure Bingo yelling, standing up, running around, talking loudly. And Bandit? He does try, but his attempt is anything but assertive. Where's the angry voice making threats only professional parents know how to deliver? Where's that deadly stare that every child with 2 brain cells learns to fear instantly? Seriously, if I were in that audience, Bingo would have been flying like the monkey at the end of the movie. Because let's be honest, who's never had the misfortune of going to see a movie and ending up next to a cracked-out kid who won't sit still? And it's always the ones with parents softer than soggy marshmallows. And don't come trying to excuse it later with, but she's just a sensitive child. Yes. And I'm just an adult trying to watch a movie in peace without having to hear someone narrate every scene like it's the World Cup. This is the kind of parent who should have stuck with a reborn baby doll. At least those don't make noise in the theater. You know what time it is? Grab your popcorn, ignore the noisy kid, and subscribe to the channel while we go over the biggest Bluey moments that, if they happened in real life, the parents would be the biggest pushovers in the world. Another episode of Zigzag is starting now. In the episode Tina, Bluey's parents basically kneel before a giant imaginary friend who hits them and forces the 2 grown-ups to do everything the kids want. If this happened in real life, it would look more like a children's cult than playtime. Imagine a kid growing up thinking they can solve anything by throwing a symbolic punch and yelling, "Tina said so." That's the secret origin of every Karen who now freaks out in department stores because the manager wouldn't take back a product from 2013 without a receipt. There's your proof that playing "Hit Daddy so he listens" may be cute in a cartoon, but in practice, it's just a tutorial on how to raise an unbearable adult in 3 easy steps. If it were me and my kids wanted to play Tina, that'd be a game I'd shut down immediately. But Dad, Tina said so. I'm immune to imaginary friends. Tina didn't say anything. Now go clean your room. You can't let this kind of thing grow wings in real life, or else the only thing flying away will be your dignity. Like the next example. In the episode Rug Island, everything's fine until the neighbor shows up to get his ball that landed in the healer's yard. And Bandit straight up refuses to give it back, because Bingo got attached to it during the game. Excuse me, what? That was the perfect moment to teach that other people's things have owners, and just because you made up a story about something doesn't mean it magically becomes yours. It's like someone walking into your house, throwing a massive turd in your dryer, turning it on and saying it's for an apocalypse RPG they're playing, and they need the stench for immersion. That's not how the world works, Bandit. And you know what's worse? If this were real life and Lucky's dad complained about wanting his own ball back, guess what? Bet how fast he'd be labeled the jerk in the story. In this case, if real-life Bandit had a problem with that, he'd definitely be a male Karen raised by Tina instead of his actual parents. Being an adult is tough, huh? Then simplify things by clicking that subscribe button. In the episode video call, we see that Stripe at least tries to set boundaries with Muffin. He's all clumsy, but firm, trying to make his daughter understand that she can't just make up her own rules and that she has to share the tablet with her sister. But then Trixie comes in with that talk of, we can't fight with her, and punishment isn't nice. Dude, what kind of logic is that? The little bit of authority the dad had crumbles instantly. And it's not like Muffin is just a little mischievous and throwing a tantrum that's out of character for her. No, sir. Muffin is literally chaos personified. And this lack of consistency in the authority of both parents is the biggest problem in this side of the Healer family. When the parents don't speak the same language, the child grows up without any compass. Every attempt at discipline turns into an emotional tug-of-war that just confuses the kid even more. And look, Muffin is basically the poster child for kids who think the world revolves around them. She wasn't born that way. She was shaped into becoming that. And if the parents don't get on the same page, the ones who'll suffer the consequences are everyone unlucky enough to cross her path at the supermarket. Or anywhere, really. Speaking of unlucky, I wouldn't want to be in the Healer family's neighbor's shoes. If you thought the chaos ended at the edge of their backyard, you're dead wrong. Because there are episodes that feel more like a warning. If you live near Bluey, get ready to become a forced extra in the kids' games, and sometimes even a victim. In the episode Asparagus, for example, Chili takes on the role of a hungry lion and just invades Lucky's dad's yard. Dude, it's insane to imagine that in real life. She literally attacks the guy from behind, without even asking if he wanted to join the game. Imagine you, just calmly hanging your clothes, and out of nowhere the neighbor's mom jumps on you making feline noises. And no, it's not a case of the neighbor's single mom playing another kind of game with you. It's literally pretending to be a lion and biting your leg. That's no longer just childlike imagination. That's harassment disguised as make-believe. Then in Sheepdog, things escalate to unbelievable levels. Bandit, just to maintain a peaceful atmosphere so Chili can rest, humiliates himself to the point of headbutting the neighbor Wendy's butt. Wendy, Judo's mom, as part of the roleplay. That's right, you heard it, a headbutt to the butt of the neighbor. And the worst part? He does it even though he knows he's messing up. You can see it on his face. If this were real life, my friend, some people get shot for way less. Speaking of pettiness, the next one is a great example. In the episode Ice Cream, Bandit starts off doing everything right. He clearly explains why the girls won't be getting ice cream that day, with all the logic of a responsible dad. But then what happens? The girls start insisting, complaining, laying on that childish charm, and that's it. He gives in. And that's where the problem lies. In real life, when parents say no, it's no. End of story. When you go back on your word just because the kid was annoying enough, you're not being nice. You're teaching that being unbearable is a valid tactic to get what you want. That's the seed of the famous Karenification. That kid who grows up thinking the world revolves around her and that all it takes is a tantrum to come out on top. If you've ever lost your patience with a tantrum, drop a hashtag, patience here for us. Talking about Karenification, check this one out. In the episode Promises, Bandit gets all tangled up because he said he'd take the girls to the library after the trampoline, but they take so long jumping that the library closes. And then what? They get mad and start blaming him for not taking them there. But it's their fault for stalling on the trampoline. He even lets his daughters call him a liar. This was the perfect opportunity to teach them about time and responsibility. Like, if you're late, you miss out on cool stuff. Why would anyone let children blame you for their mistakes and even call you dishonest? But the next one takes the cake. In the episode Takeaway, Bandit seems more like an intern than a dad. The girls turn the restaurant into a war zone, waste water like they're irrigating a field, and when the food finally arrives, things are so out of control that it all ends up on the floor. And what does Bandit do? Nothing. Zero. He just accepts it. It's that classic case of a dad who prefers momentary peace over a teaching conflict. But the problem is, in the long run, that peace comes with interest. Kids who don't learn to respect other people's efforts, adult time, or the value of things end up growing up with no sense of responsibility. And when they become difficult adults, it's the rest of the world that pays the price. Good thing Bluey is just a cute cartoon, right?